everybody, Laurie Conrod here. This is an interview I'm doing as part of my Beginner to Bank series. I'm here with Jonathan Budd. I've known Jonathan for about a year. We've been working very closely together. I have been extremely blessed to do that. Jonathan is one of the most successful, youngest successful marketers on the internet. He made his first $10 million before he was 26. He made his first 20 before he was 30. And so Jonathan's got a lot of wisdom to share with us, and that's my goal, is to share it with you, because I've been lucky enough to work with him together one-on-one. And so we'll get right to it. How did you get started, Jonathan?
Well, it's great to be here with you, Laurie, first off. And I think I got started probably really similar to all of us, most of us. For me, it was just lack of better options, desperation, you could even say. I had no idea how I was going to reach certain goals I had for my life. I knew that I didn't want to be stuck in a dead-end sort of career or job or something that just sucked my soul and left me in debt, you know, paying off school bills and loans and this and that. And one day I got a call from my uncle, and he said, "Man, I got to tell you about this thing. You know, there's these two guys, they're making $30,000 a month. They've got this amazing new technology. You know, you got to hear about this." And I'd never heard of network marketing before. My ears were piqued. And when I found out and listened to the business model behind it, it just made so much sense to me. I was like, this is it. I'm sold. Like, and it was just yes, instant yes. And I signed up, dropped down, you know, $1,200, and that was a lot of money for a young hippie college kid, and went off running.
So, how'd you go from network marketing to the internet? What brought you to the internet?
Well, that's a great question. Basically, when I went off running, I more or less just ran straight into the wall. You know, I failed miserably because I had no business contacts, no business mentorship. I had no successful past or history. I had no idea what I was doing at all. And so, you know, you don't get very far when you're hanging around a bunch of, you know, unmotivated college kids who just want to party all day. And very quickly found myself with no better options or solution for how I was going to succeed. And I had exhausted all of my warm market contacts. I exhausted every possible thing I knew how to do. I mean, I was cold calling doctors, I was cold calling leads, I was buying leads, buying booths in malls and expositions, door to door. I even went door to door. It was just ridiculous. And when that was all said and done, and I was left completely defeated because nothing worked, one day I went on the internet and I just started searching for my company's name, and I found a website that said at the very bottom, it had one of those little ticker symbols. You remember those? And it had 305,000 people visited this website. And I was thinking to myself, my God, if I had 300,000 people visit a website and just 1% of them bought my product, I would have made 3,000 sales. I'd be sitting pretty right now. And that was kind of like the spark that just got me geared towards and thinking about the internet. And it was like this seed was planted, and I could never get out of my head, because I want to be where the people are. And clearly the audiences of the world have moved to the internet and our mobile phones.
Mm-hmm. So what happened then?
You know, basically, I found this traffic exchange where you, in essence, you click other people's ads to get credits so that you could put up an ad, and other people would click your ads to get credits so that you could see their ad, etc. That's traffic exchange. Not exactly the highest quality form of advertising, but surprisingly enough, I learned a tremendous amount about the internet and marketing, and I got on all these different people's lists, and I started learning about online marketing and all these things, and one thing sort of led to another, and I really taught myself you know, how to generate leads. And I think the crux of really success in network marketing, a huge crux to it, comes down to who are you talking to every day. And if you've got leads and you know how to advertise, you're going to build a business. The rest of the skills will come once you've got people to talk to every day. And I just was like a bulldog. I just laser focused. I'm teaching myself all the skills that really matter. I committed myself 1,000%, and I went. I just worked and worked and worked and worked.
And how long do you think it takes somebody to get to a level of skill that, you can make some money?
That's a great question. I think that it really is going to depend on how committed you are, right? How much do you dive in? A lot of people I think like to move slower. They only bite off a little chunk at a time. And then there's people who, really just throw themselves into actually taking action. And bar none, the people who just start taking action from the start are always the most successful people, and they always create the success the fastest. Because you learn primarily through taking action. That's how this industry works. It's how entrepreneurship really works. You learn through doing and through getting out in the world and making things happen and taking action, even if you have no idea what you're doing, even if it's all completely new to you. The process of doing it is what teaches you. So, the more action you take, the faster you're going to learn, the faster you're going to succeed.
So what made the biggest difference for you going from making no money at all to 5 figures a month?
That's a great question, Laurie. I'd say the biggest difference for me was really a concept called speed of implementation. And speed of implementation refers to how quickly you learn something and how quickly you implement what you learn. And similar to what I was just sharing, the fastest, success makers are the ones who implement what they learn the fastest. And so for me, as soon as I started getting on people's lists and buying some products and learning about how to do, ads and learning about how to make a capture page and learning about, making videos and YouTube and strategies for how to get leads, I was instantly implementing. I was instantly in the game. I was out in the field. I was trying it. I was practicing, bumbling around, not knowing what I was doing, but I implemented so quickly. And because I implemented so quickly, it really sped up my ability to make a lot of money. And I would say that is bar none one of the greatest secrets to getting to a level of success where this business, not only will this business blow away your current income in almost any job you have. This is you can create an income that sustains your life, but this business has the ability to blow away any job you will ever get. I don't have a doctorate degree. I didn't go to some crazy business school and spend 30 years working my way up the corporate ladder to be a CEO. And I make way more money than probably 99% of the CEOs on this planet. That to me is unbelievable, because that's a sign of what this business is capable of. It's just an incredible business model when you really wrap your head around it for anyone, for average person just looking to really change their life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's amazing opportunity. There's a whole world out there. I never knew it existed until like a year ago, so it was amazing for me. So what's the biggest piece of advice on our last minute or two that you can give to everybody?
I would say, the biggest piece of advice for sure is to discover the reason you have to succeed that is more important than a reason you have to quit. And, there's so many times in my life that I've wanted to quit. So many, really, truly. Mostly in the beginning, when I didn't know how I was going to succeed. It was so hard. I was miserable. It was new. It was just depressing. And the only thing that kept me going was that I knew that I could create something great. And I knew that if I didn't do this, there was no other way I knew how to do it. And I didn't want to risk the chance that, my dream in life, what I knew was possible, would be sacrificed or thrown away just because it was hard. Just because it was hard. Oh, well, boo-hoo. You know, newsflash, like, this is hard sometimes. You know, like, creating really valuable things is not easy. It wasn't easy for Steve Jobs to, you know, innovate the way we all experience life with, you know, iPads and computers and smartphones, and yet it was worth it because it's totally changed the world. And, you know, each of us has that reason that is so worth it. We truly do. Each of us does, whether it's our family, whether it's our lifestyle, whether it's our contribution we want to leave for the world, whether it's just freedom in general. And, you know, find that, and whatever it is, you know, hang on to that and never let that go. Because as long as you find that, you know, there's no possible experience you can have trying to build this business that is worth more than that vision, than your why, than your reason to do it. It's always going to trump everything. So just find it, and once you find it, hold it in your mind's eye forever.
Awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Laurie. You rock. And follow Laurie. That's the other biggest piece of advice I can give you. Go from being a beginner to banking.
Yeah, that's what we all want, right? Woohoo. So in closing, if you want to see more interviews, more advice that I can help you with, that I'm learning from the best, join my list, and it'll be Laurie Conrod at getresponse.com, and there will be a link right with the video. So thanks, everybody.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.